The film begins with Rosie Dunn sitting alone and depressed at a table, surrounded by wedding guests. She's mentally preparing what she'll say regarding her connection with Alex Stewart, the man sitting just across from her. They've known each other since they were 5 years old. It's his wedding day, and she starts her speech by saying, "This was the happiest day of my life." The following scene shows Rosie weeping as the film flashes back to her 18th birthday 12 years earlier. Rosie and Alex are celebrating Rosie's birthday at a pub, and they enjoy a drunken, passionate kiss before Rosie slips off a seat and smashes her head, knocking herself out. She wakes up the next morning with no remembrance of the night before, and Alex pays her a visit, unaware that she doesn't recall their kiss. Rosie tells Alex that she wishes the night had never occurred and she doesn't want to talk about it again, which she interprets as rejection. Alex then goes on to explain about Bethany, a hot female who's been staring at him. Rosie and Alex subsequently go to a beach campfire and discuss forthcoming school parties. Rosie admits that she was approached by Greg, the fittest guy in the school, but declined, saying she and Alex had already arranged to go together. Meanwhile, Alex has his eyes set on a blonde named Bethany, whom Rosie believes will be difficult to entice. Since Alex is still a virgin, he laughs it off, telling Rosie how Bethany had asked him to go to the dance with her. Rosie suggested he go with Bethany, and she goes with Greg. Alex concurs. However, they both appear to be dissatisfied with their choices. On the day of the dance in computer class, Alex informs Rosie that he is no longer a virgin. Rosie inquires who it was and hopes it's not Bethany. But it was Bethany, which causes Rosie to curse and gets sent to the headmaster's room. Alex wants to take the blame and have his message exposed in front of the entire class. But Rosie is dissatisfied. Alex drives Rosie to the hotel where the dance is being hosted that night. Greg gets Rosie out of Alex's car. He despises the situation. Each pair enjoys themselves on the dance floor. However, Rosie and Alex exchange wishful glances. Later, Rosie and Greg go up to a room where their night is ruined when Greg's condom falls off and becomes lodged inside Rosie. She phones Alex, who is downstairs dancing with Bethany. After Greg abandons her, the music is extremely loud and Alex can't hear himself. Rosie screams even louder about the issue in front of a stranger. He leaves Bethany to drive Rosie to the hospital, where a male nurse named Dick removes the condom from her. When they reach home, Alex informs Rosie that they should leave the country and go to America to study. Rosie will study hotel management at Boston University, while Alex will study medicine at Harvard. The next day, she tells her parents. Her mom doesn't quite agree because she thinks Rosie can't take care of herself and tells her dad to talk to her. Rosie goes to work with her dad, and her dad assures her that following her dreams will be the right choice. A few months later, Rosie gets accepted into a hotel management program at Boston University. Rosie comes to Alex's house to break the news, but Alex is having it with Bethany. Rosie hears the sounds, vomits, and leaves. Rosie visits a drugstore to find a solution for her recent nausea, and the clerk, Ruby, suggests she take a pregnancy test. After it comes back positive, she quickly realizes Greg is the dad. Rosie wants to meet Alex, but he's having dinner with Beth and her friends, so she cries alone. The next day, Alex tells Rosie he got a scholarship into Harvard. Rosie is happy for him, but doesn't want to tell Alex that she's pregnant and got accepted into Boston too, worrying Alex will stay to take care of her. She just says she'll be there on the day Alex leaves. At the airport, Rosie is worried about him, so Alex gives her a small glow. They almost share a kiss, but Rosie seems to pull back, and then Alex leaves. Rosie comes back to the drugstore to confide in Ruby. She suggests giving the baby away, and Rosie thinks that's a good idea. Rosie continues to live at home with her parents. Everyday life makes her slowly have second thoughts about giving the baby away. After giving birth and holding her baby for the first time, Rosie decides to keep her baby and names her Katie. One night, Rosie is really stressed out, and Katie keeps crying. Her father comes in, and she says she was thinking her life is doomed. Her father comforts her and tells her some memories of when she was born. It helps Rosie feel better. After a few montages of being a single mom, Rosie runs into Bethany, who then snitches to Alex about the baby. Alex flies to England to confront Rosie, who explains she didn't tell Alex because she didn't want him to go to Harvard. Alex forgives her. Rosie explains that Greg moved to Ibiza as soon as he heard Rosie was pregnant, and Alex asks her to be Katie's godfather. Alex spends a few days with Rosie and Katie, and eventually, Alex must go back to the US while Rosie stays in England. Back in Boston, Alex is drinking alone at a bar when he is approached by a guy named Phil. He introduces Alex to Sally, his sister, and asks if Alex will buy her a drink. He agrees. As the years pass, Rosie and Alex stay in touch by sending videos to each other. Sally and Alex are in a relationship and have moved in together. Rosie has become friends with Ruby, the clerk from the drugstore, and Katie is growing up. Rosie and Ruby are both maids at a local hotel, even though Rosie still dreams of opening her own hotel. Rosie also finds out that Bethany is now a famous model, which she still hates. Rosie is generally happy with Katie and her life. Meanwhile, Alex is not happy with Sally. Sally doesn't seem to get or care about what he feels or thinks at all, calling his dream stupid. Alex asks Rosie to come visit him and sends her a ticket. She's excited, thinking maybe something will finally happen between them. As she arrives at the airport, she and Alex share a joyful reunion. Alex takes Rosie around the city, where they spend the day exploring and flirting. When they're at the park, Rosie leans forward to kiss Alex. This time he pulls back, saying they should get back to his apartment. Afterwards, they head back to Alex's apartment, where Sally has been waiting for Alex to return. They have dinner with Sally's brother, and it becomes obvious that Alex and Rosie are much more alike. Sally can't drink wine, and Rosie asks why, turning out that she's pregnant, and Alex didn't mention that. Sally is mad and goes to clean the dishes. Rosie wants to help but accidentally knocks over a cup of water. Sally orders Alex to save her father's antique table. Alex accidentally knocks over another cup and curses. Sally lashes out in anger and pulls off the whole table, which makes Rosie really shocked. Alex acts like nothing has happened to calm herself down and asks Rosie to go to her friend Herb's art show. Rosie leaves the art show early because she thinks it's nonsense. Alex then chases her. Rosie explains that she's mad because Alex leaves his pregnant girlfriend at home and goes out with her. Alex says he and Rosie are just having fun. Rosie points out that Alex calls her here because his personal life is a mess and he needs someone from his old life to point that out. Meanwhile, Alex thinks that Rosie's life is miserable and he is helping her. Alex then points out that his life is going really great and his baby is going to have 2 parents, which makes Rosie disappointed and leave him out of a whim. Rosie sends her daughter's picture to Greg, and he actually comes back after begging Rosie for a chance. The three start living like a family and eventually get engaged. Alex is invited to their wedding but does not show up. When Rosie was moving in with Greg, Alex called, but she didn't pick up. Her daughter Katie is now really close with a boy named Toby, which makes her seem to miss Alex. In the next scene, Rosie decides to call Alex's apartment, and Sally answers. She tells Rosie that she and Alex had broken up around the time of Rosie's wedding, but then her water breaks before Sally hangs up. Rosie hears her shouting to Herb, the artist from the show. Rosie then texts Alex to comfort him. She feels bad for him. Alex also reveals that the baby was not his but Herb's. Alex assures that he's fine. He isn't ready to be a dad anyway, but he actually did. Another 5 years have passed. Katie is now a teenager, and she is still close with her friend Toby. They annoy Rosie sometimes. One day, Rosie's parents leave for a trip around the world. Rosie is now a receptionist, and when she's cleaning the floor, suddenly Bethany, now a successful model, comes in and catches up with Rosie while checking into the hotel. After hearing Bethany is traveling to Boston soon, Rosie suggests she look up Alex. Rosie's father dies suddenly while on vacation, leaving Rosie heartbroken. Alex returns to England for the funeral and comforts Rosie. A pissed Greg arrives, oblivious to Rosie's pain, and pulls her away. Alex realizes he loves Rosie and knows he would treat her better than Greg does. As he flies back to England, he mails her a letter professing his love and tells her if she doesn't feel the same, he won't ever bring it up again. As it arrives at Rosie's house, Greg receives it and later hides it in a desk drawer before Rosie can see it. Rosie decides to finally start following her dreams and begins to plan how to open her own hotel. Katie and Toby are still close as ever. Alex messages Rosie to ask one simple thing, if she's happy with Greg. After contemplating her answer, she responds that she, Greg, and Katie are a family, and she's happy with her family. Greg calls Rosie from his work trip at the hotel where they had their school dance so many years ago to inform her that he will be staying there longer than he had originally anticipated over the weekend. After Ruby checks their hotel database, they find out that he had reserved the bridal suite. Rosie and Ruby confront Greg at the hotel where he is with another woman. After Rosie hooks him in the jaw, she returns home to begin throwing out all of Greg's possessions. She finds the letter from Alex. She immediately video chats with Alex, but Bethany answers. Alex joins her, and they reveal that they are engaged and getting married the next week. They ask Rosie to be the best man because she told Bethany to come there, and Rosie accepts, trying to hold back her tears. Rosie expresses her despair to Ruby, saying that she and Alex just might not be right for each other. Ruby talks some sense back into Rosie and convinces her to show up early to the wedding and tell Alex how she feels before it's too late. A week later, Rosie, Ruby, Katie, and Toby prepare to fly to America for the wedding. However, their flight is delayed, and when they land, Phil picks them up, and they arrive at the church just as Alex and Bethany are coming out. At the reception, Rosie gives a speech as the best man and recalls moments from her childhood with Alex, including the night of her 18th birthday, which she can't remember. Alex now realizes that she didn't remember that day. She then thanks Alex for being an amazing friend and the best thing that has ever happened to her. She promises that no matter what, she will always love him. It hits Alex hard, and Rosie's friends are nervous. She swiftly adds, after a little hesitation, that she will love him like a sister loves a brother and a friend loves a friend. Following the speech, people proceed to dance in groups. Bethany and Alex, Katie and Toby, and Ruby and her new boyfriend Phil. Toby goes in to kiss Katie, but she pushes him away and leads to the roof. Alex and Rosie both witness the incident. Rosie inquires as to what transpired. Katie said that Toby kissed her, which is strange given Alex and Rosie kissed each other. Katie says that she would beg Toby to forget about it, prompting Alex to warn her that if she rejects him now, Toby would spend the rest of his life looking for someone ideal who will never be as good as her. Alex is not just discussing Toby's sentiments, but also his own. Katie is moved by Alex's remarks. At this time, Toby joins them on the roof, and Katie rushes to kiss him on the lips. They return to the party, leaving Rosie and Alex alone. Alex tells Rosie the truth about what happened on the night of her 18th birthday, explaining that he had just recently realized that she didn't remember that day. She realizes Alex only took Bethany to their high school dance all those years ago because he assumed Rosie didn't feel the same way. Even if it's clear that the two still love each other, there is nothing that can be done about it. Bethany is not pleased with the way Alex stares at Rosie as they say their goodbyes at the airport, and she, Katie, Toby, and Ruby depart for England. Rosie purchases a manor house and transforms it into her lodge with the aid of her daughter, Toby, Ruby, and Phil. Her mother tells her that her father will be proud of her if she throws a party on the day of the grand opening. The first visitor is the man who was in the lift with Rosie the night the condom became stuck. Then Alex appears out of nowhere, alone, with no suitcases or wife, and requests a room. Rosie brings him to a room with a view of the sea, and Alex turns to her and invites her to the dance. Rosie responds, "Better late than never," and he scoops her up in a passionate kiss. The film concludes here.